Late night happy hour on a Monday. Boy, I'm in a good mood. I don't think Monday Night Football ended at like 8:45. I don't think I would have been able to do the show at like 8:50. I was so euphoric, and actually my chest hurt a little bit because I was breathing so heavily for the final 10 minutes of that game. I was so worked up. Well, what did I say last week? That when the Chiefs kicked the shit out of the Jets, that was like one of my best Sundays ever. Because I'm hanging out at bars. There's all the games are on, and I'm like, yeah, I want to watch the Chiefs. Learn more about the Chiefs, follow them. As covering the Raiders, but like I don't want to have to stress fucking games. So the Jets have a mission. It's to go 0-16. Like tonight is not what I needed.
No, it is. We've talked. I mean, the stress isn't what you needed, but
no.
We've talked about what you want to see is you want to ideally you want to absolutely show that you can win the game and then like take a knee or do something stupid.
Yeah, but I got to deal with the drama up until the end, and then the other part of it was tonight. There's no doubt in my mind Belichick was doing what he could to lose the game, and I don't know what people are watching. It's so weird. Like I saw about 10% of the people got it on social media. Where they're like, yeah, this is a freaking tank off. Like both guys are doing stuff to make sure that they reduce their chance to win by just a little bit or a lot. And then after the game, it's like it's like a normal Jet season narrative where people are like laughing at the Jets. I'm like, laughing at the Jets? I'm jubilant. You saw the video I put up earlier?
Yeah.
So listen to the end. I'm like, I don't understand how people get it. I don't know who's dumber, New York area fans or New England fans. Here's the end of the game, and I was literally sitting there videoing like every play for the last 10 minutes because I don't know if the Jets won. I think I would have broke the phone. I need a new phone anyway. So, but yeah, this is the end with Nick Folk.
Come on, Nick. Come on, Nick. Come on. Come on, Nick. Get out! Get out! Woo! Yeah! Trevor Lawrence! Still alive, baby! Yeah! Yeah, Patriots! Further down from getting Justin Fields. Good move! Woo!
And I'm telling you right now that when the season ends, right? And I don't know, they make the playoffs at 8-8 or miss it at 7-9, and they've got the 13th pick in the draft, and they can't fucking move up to get Justin Fields. It's finally going to hit Patriots fans like, what were we doing? The Jets were stupid enough to take a 27-17 lead. Why did we come back in that game? That is going to cost them dearly, and I know from experience because the Jets did the same stupid thing last year by closing out the season like 6-2 and finishing with 7 wins or whatever they finished with, 6 wins, and they dropped down to the 10th pick. I thought Belichick got it. But he got outcoached tonight. He got outcoached tonight by Adam Gase. And I think to a certain extent, you know what, Joe Flacco? I love you, man. I love you. Because it was so weird at the end of the game, Adam. Ed Werder, who's I don't know where he is. I don't know where his brain is now. Like he's thinking normal football mentality. Like the Jets don't need to beat the Patriots. So he sends out, I don't know, I saw the note from a bunch of people. The Jets only ran 4 plays in the fourth quarter. Yeah! That's what you're supposed to do! They freaking blew it by getting a lead. And then, to me, the counter was Belichick's down 27-17. They get the ball back with 13 minutes left, right? Basically the beginning of the fourth quarter, 14 minutes left. He goes on a 9.5-minute drive down 10. I've never seen that in football history. Have you?
Yes. Sadly, yes.
Dude, yeah, if you're inept. Belichick's not inept. They're I think I put it on Twitter. It's like the don't hurry up offense. They're huddling up. They're running draws. They're running left and right. Cam's By the way, how many times tonight did the Patriots have a first down and the receiver's like he plants, goes back 3 yards to loop, and like he had the first down, he goes backwards 3 yards. Like Belichick's teams are not that stupid, even if they're practice squad guys. I don't think the players are doing it on purpose, but the play calling was clear. Like he was not hustling to get a victory, but the Jets outdid him. How brilliant was that? That Belichick should have told the defensive backs, anything in the air in your area, swat it down. Swat it down. Don't catch. Swat it down. And Flacco drops back, throws into double coverage, looks the safety in, not off. He's like, I don't even know how you look a safety in. He looks him in and throws the interception. And then before they gave the Patriots back for the final time, they had back-to-back plays. I swear, go back and watch. Go back and watch. Joe Flacco drops back. I think it was on second down. He turns his head to look behind him as if like, when is the sack coming? He takes a sack, and then the next play he just drops back and is like, he acted like everyone was like all over him, and he just lobs the ball up 10 yards too far for the receiver. I'm like, brilliant. Brilliant. That guy, that minister of fun job that Tom Brady will have with the Patriots once Belichick's gone. What's the Kraft Jr. kid? What's his name? It's not Robert, is it? No, Bob, what's his name? Jonathan. Johnny Kraft. Once Johnny Kraft takes over, Belichick comes back for that retirement job. Flacco is a Jersey guy through and through. He deserves a job for the next 40 years with the Jets. I'm going to look back on tonight as one of the greatest moments in Jets history.
If they finish it off.
If they had lost, I'm telling you right now, the butt fumble, the fake spike with Marino, tonight's win, if they had won, would have surpassed anything in Jets history in terms of disasters. It would have been the worst.
They've got a long way to go. They got to finish it off.
I believe me, I'm worried as F after watching tonight. I'm like, I got to sweat out these next 7 games. I'm going to have a heart attack. I can't do this.
You should take heed that the commitment is strong. And so you didn't even mention the greatest call of Gase's career, which is, oh, you're going to kick a field goal on 4th and 4? Fine, I'm going to send 12 guys out there.
Yeah, that was awesome. Oh, my God.
Take the first down. Now what are you going to do?
It's accelerating. Yeah. What a move.
Now what are you going to do? Now you have a first down. Now you got to go score.
Belichick. Yeah, Ernie Adams is part genius, but he's also part punching bag. When things go bad, he's the guy in the basement, like the Milton of the Patriots.
Yeah,
he's the one who diagnosed the play against the Seahawks in the Super Bowl. He had basically cheated his way or watched film to know that they would run that stupid slant instead of giving the ball to Marshawn Lynch.
Cheated his way watching film.
So they probably had someone like extra, another person videoing it up top. Yeah, but Ernie Adams is he's part genius, but he's also part punching bag. So he knows when Belichick gets back tonight, he's just going to get a beaten. He's going to let out all his frustration about winning this game on him. The Patriots are bad. And I'm sorry. Cam Newton went 27-35. I thought he was terrible. Like I'll tell you, man, he's decent on the dump off. Like he can throw a DC. I mean, he had a couple of screens where he threw the ball like 3 yards. Most of the underneath stuff was like 8. If he had to get it out there like 13 yards, he's got this like weird. He's like throwing his whole goddamn body into like throwing a 14-yard out now. I don't know what's happened.
Well, he is. His motion has become a disaster. But then every time he throws it, you're like, is that even going to make it halfway to the guy? And then all of a sudden it's like a laser to the guy, though. So I actually thought the results were good. It was the process was a disaster. And I don't know if he has to just throw everything into it. At one point, he was 19 of 20.
He finished 27-35. I think he got out of the game like 11. He was 11 of 11. He finally threw an incomplete pass, and I'm like, oh my God, I thought he like missed on half those passes. They were actually.
Yeah, it's because of how he was throwing them. You get caught into this. Wow, these are awful, but they were actually great throws. They just looked horrific.
Believe me, Brady, that tweet was going out because I'm one of the few Jets fans who gets it. And I've been saying all year, every time someone says fire Gase, I'm like, what? No. Tank for Trevor. Keep them around. No, tonight, if they had won that game, I was so fucking livid when they were up 27-17. Livid. Like, dude, you do not get it. And I hope Joe Douglas called down there and he's like, bruh, well, you got to be creative here now. Come on. So you get a chance to get Flacco on a wild ball to double coverage, 40 yards downfield. He's got to unleash that. Let's go. Give him some chances to get the ball back. And the 12 men on the field on the field goal was brilliant.
It's one of the great calls. I would say so far the coaching move of 2020.
I'm telling you, I'm out of breath. JVT said it might be the cholesterol. Yeah, probably. That was awesome.
It's so good because it's like people are. It's obvious you can really tank if you actually want to tank, but you just can't. There actually is a problem. Like you can't just go out like people said. Oh, the Patriots should have just, when they scored the touchdown, go for 2 and take a knee, and then really you can't do that.
Well, I thought I thought 27-26. Is that what it was? That they absolutely were going to go for 2. Because that's a good creative way, like Rivera did early in the season. That's a good creative way to potentially tank. But I thought Belichick did it. He was doing it. Come on. A 9.5-minute drive in the fourth quarter when you're down 10 and you don't throw like on 3rd and 7 repeatedly, they would throw short of the first down. Now, again, I don't think it's necessarily the players. You can run stuff that puts your team in a worse position to win a game.
You can, but I'm going to challenge you on this because I'm telling you this happens every week. I've talked about this so many times this year. It is what drives me nuts about one of the things that drives me nuts about the NFL right now. These teams get the ball in the fourth quarter and they're like, all right, it's a 2-possession game. We only need 2 possessions. Why on earth is that your mentality? If it's a 2-possession game, you should play it like you're down 5 possessions. And then you need to go. But these teams, they're huddling up. You're down 10 with 9 minutes left, and you're huddling up.
Plenty of time.
It's unbelievable. And I saw it with the Chargers yesterday, and I think you said you're watching the game too. But they're going in, and I don't understand. You're huddling. It's like, okay, it's a 1-possession game, but hey, you realize that if you don't score, if it's a 3 and out, you could actually punt and get the ball back and have 2 possessions. You don't have to run the clock all the way down to 0 when there's 4.5 minutes left and you're down, 5 points. Like there is a possibility of having 2 possessions possibly. So why are you playing it like this? And in the end, they had to scramble for time, which it baffles me every week, the clock management in the NFL. But in that case, I feel like Belichick's smart enough to not do that. And maybe he did do that on purpose. I don't know. It was weird, but they tried. Both teams, I think, tried to lose at times, but Jets pulled it off.
One of the great victories in a loss in Jets history. So do you agree with me when you look around social media, do you see a lot of people who still don't get it with the Jets?
Of course. Like
they're mocking on them tonight. Like I saw Andrew Perloff, who I used to work with, big time guy now, right? He's one of the Danettes. And he tweeted something out to essentially, I see some Jets fans were rooting for the loss, but I mean, deep down, you really wanted to win this game. And I just retweeted it with a bunch of laughing emojis, and I'm like, what are you talking? Like, I can remove in this. I'm so committed to the tank at this point, and I fought you in the past when teams have a chance to be decent. Like, I don't know, the Chargers, I would say, are one more game from. I don't know what the fuck they do because they're a team of now. They clearly are a decent team. I think they're actually better served the rest of the season just trying to learn how to win to get ready for next year. But I will battle you on this. But the Jets are so clearly in a position where this year was going to be nothing. So you have to tank. And I saw so many takes tonight. It's like, oh, Jets blew it again. I'm like, blew it.
But there is an element of truth to that. Like I've seen it so many times. Fans just are dumb, Steve. And I know you lecture me about this all the time, but they just are. And I see people.
I don't like you to say it, but when I saw it tonight on both sides.
I know. And I see people all the time where they're like, yeah, we need to tank. But then it gets into watching the game and they're actually like, I can't cheer against my team. Then either you're a fucking idiot or you're not a fan. Like you have to cheer against your team at that point. You should be cheering as hard for a loss as you are for a win when they're in the race. That's important. It's important to lose games. That's the system that we have. And until they change it, if you're not all in on it as a fan, then you're just dumb.
I got to read you a couple of tweets here. This is a guy who was going at it with Tierney, Brandon Tierney, who does CBS National and we know Brandon well, and Brandon is as much of a psycho Jets fan as I am. In fact, probably more explosive than I am. I've watched games with him, and I think it was, I don't know, it was a blown Monday night game by the Jets years ago, and he actually, I think whatever game system we had, he threw it out the window, and we lived on the second floor, right? He's nuts. And I saw him before the game today, or early on, he's like, all right, we've worked hard for this. Let's not blow this. So he gets the tank. So some guy who follows him goes, he goes, go to Twitter. You see nothing but negativity. You want the number one pick, but not like that. Like, who cares? What do you mean not like that? You just told the Pats they still own you. Good. You own us with Cam Newton and Stiddy. Good luck. Good luck trying to get your next quarterback when you keep winning games. Then the guy goes, losing your way to a nice pick is a loser mentality that will never lead to a winner no matter who's behind center. All right, let's deal with the real fucking world, moron. Do you want Trevor Lawrence or not? This is the way you guarantee to get him. Like, the players aren't giving up. There's a lot of them are twos, frankly, right? And, at times they run a freaking clunky offense. But like, the loser mentality is just going to seep on. First of all, the organization's going to change. Adam Gase will not be there. But it's weird to me that in the NFL, people haven't embraced the tanking thing. The NBA, there's like, every year there's like 8 teams that are like, yeah, let's fucking tank. And the fans are all like, the fans know if you don't have 2 or 3 superstars in the NBA, you're not going to win a championship. So be the Orlando Magic for 10 years. Congrats. Win 39 games a year. How come NBA fans get the tank, but NFL don't?
I don't know. Well, I think weird echo again. I don't know what happened. So I think one of the problems that people have, and it's so counterintuitive, but in the NBA, you're like, we need the best chance we possibly can to win the lottery because it's a lottery. But for some reason, in the NFL, when you literally get the number one pick for having the worst record, they don't understand that you really, really need to lose. And to CJ's point about couldn't they have lost and still had the number one pick? Sure, but Jacksonville has 1 win, and look at their schedule. Yep. My God, they're not going to win a game, I don't think.
And they're tanking.
Yeah,
and they're tanking. They've put Luton in. I would guess Minshew Mania is not going to play. I mean, to be honest, the biggest challenge in Jaguar land is I'm sure upper management has talked to Marone, and he like, dude, pull back a little bit, pull back a little bit. And I'm sure Marone's like, if I lose all the rest of the games, I'm not going to get a job again. Like, it's not about you selfish prick. All right. Yes, you're right. You are going to be fired, but you've been terrible. We kept you around. You still got to make the money. Just take the money and shut the fuck up and lose. You know what I mean? God, I would love to be a GM and give that speech. If I'm Joe Douglas this week, I'm screaming at Gase. I'm like, Flacco's no. You know what? Fuck you. Flacco's released. I'm releasing Flacco. And Darnold's not playing the rest of the year. We drafted this James Morgan kid. He's playing. Well, he's not ready. I don't care. He's playing.
No, but Flacco's committed. Like, Flacco's committed to the tank. So
I got to watch the end of the game because he almost looked a bit shady, like he was kind of torn. I was like, man, I just kind of helped lose that game, and I did my job, but this feels wrong.
What if the Jets would have celebrated when that field goal went in?
kind of like the Lions Falcon, Gurley touchdown, like just so counterintuitive.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. I mean, in that case, we wanted to get the ball back as quick as possible, but it still was a jarring image for a Lions defensive player to be like, hands up, come on, touchdown.
Well, one was celebrating, one was arguing with the official to call it a touchdown, which was so bizarre.
There were so many times. First of all, the SO was like in and out tonight because she was chugging like a giant bottle of wine just to deal with me screaming. And multiple times she's like, who am I rooting for? This is weird. I'm like, lose. We're rooting for the Patriots, okay? She's like, no, I don't like that. I'm like, yes. I'm like, it serves you too as a Charger fan. If the Patriots are dumb enough to win 7 or 8 games, then they're going to have to trade up so much goddamn trade capital, or they're going to have to use so much trade capital to move up, to get one of the top 2 quarterbacks. You want Belichick in this hellish zone where he can't get the next quarterback. By the way, the clock is ticking. Like Belichick ain't 54 years old. Like he needs to get the guy.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe they got great leads on Trey Lance or freaking Kyle Trask or what's his name at BYU, Zach Wilson, right?
Well, I don't think Belichick is.
They think that's the guy.
No, I don't think Belichick is willing to invest in a rookie quarterback. I think he has the second most cap space in the league. He's got $100 million next year. At some point, the Packers have to move on from Aaron Rodgers.
Ooh, okay.
Like you can't make a first round pick of a quarterback and let him sit for 4 years anymore. That's not how it works.
I think the first round quarterback, like you have to do this or that, is off the table since Josh Rosen. I think if you deem someone just not worthy of play, or if Aaron Rodgers is still awesome a couple years from now, then tough shit, Jordan Love. Then you made a bad pick and you got to trade him for a fourth. That's it. You blew it. But don't compound the mistake by getting rid of Aaron Rodgers.
I mean, I just don't think you can. I don't think you can do that. You made your decision, and we've seen other teams move on from first round picks, I guess. But you had a chance to bolster your team and a contending team, and you didn't. You chose to go for the future. So now you're going to compound that. Like that's crazy.
And here's another reason that. Like, I just don't think people are thinking this whole thing through. I mean, the worst thing ever would be for Trevor Lawrence to somehow land in New England.
We're also assuming Trevor Lawrence can't miss. I wouldn't make that assumption.
He's can't miss. We're going to have this argument. You and I started this discussion, and believe me, it'll be a big discussion. This is a big TV show, so there are going to be people out there who will whittle, especially the talking head shows, who will turn Fields Lawrence into a debate. I think Justin Fields is really good, but who will turn it into a debate for ratings, for the storyline. ESPN will glom onto it. The NFL Network will glom onto it and make it, like we were saying today on the show. I'm not saying Justin Fields is a complete clunt like Ryan Leaf was, but remember back during that draft. I know people don't believe it now. I'm telling you, I was at the goddamn draft that day, the first round at the theater. Next to Madison Square Garden, whatever it's called now. And Peyton Manning, Ryan Leaf was actually, there was a debate on draft day, which looking back on it, you're like, there's no way it was a debate. It was a debate. Now, ultimately, it was ridiculous because I'm sure anyone who actually spoke to Ryan Leaf was like, this may be the lowest character guy we've ever taken a look at with a top 5 pick at quarterback, So it seems ridiculous now, but I'm telling you, back then it was not ridiculous. So the media can, we're part of the media. If we like a storyline, we can just pound it over and over again, and all of a sudden it turns into a freaking story.
Yeah, I mean, no question. But I don't think there's any question Trevor Lawrence is the number 1 pick, and I would pick him number 1 if I had the pick. But I'm just saying, you never know how guys are. I mean, like after Burrow was can't miss, and after 2 weeks, people were like, he is the greatest quarterback of all time. And then like 2 weeks later, like, oh, he sucks. And then 2 weeks later, like, oh, he might be good. Like, you don't know how guys are going to be.
And not every draft is like this draft because it appears, and it's very early to judge, but it appears the top 3 guys are going to be at least, solid if they can stay healthy, which 2, there's an issue. But it appears they're going to turn into pretty good quarterbacks. Not every draft is like that. And, a lot of times the top guy chosen isn't the guy.
By the way, and God, I guess I got to look it up again and see. There was a list I just saw today. To Brady's point, I think he's being sarcastic here. What if Trevor Lawrence never recovers from COVID? Did you see the list of guys that are having down years that had COVID?
NFL or college?
It was NFL.
Really?
Like all these guys are, and you're like, hey, this guy's down. Zeke was a big one.
Yeah.
Obviously Cam Newton, people were talking about being a big one too, which I think you could mitigate that. You can be like, well, maybe he wasn't that good. Maybe he's learning the system and all those other things. But it was like a pretty extensive list, and Zeke was definitely at the top of guys that have made a significant downturn after having public bouts with COVID.
Where was this? Any idea?
I cannot even remember where I saw it.
Someone find it, please. Probably on Twitter.
Oh no, it was. It was on the Serious Fantasy channel.
Ah,
Yeah. They were just doing a rundown of downturns from COVID guys.
God, I like Sirius, but they really do not use Twitter enough.
Yeah.
Which I understand the business model. You're trying to drive people to pay and not give out free information, but
Yeah.
we'll have to find that.
So, I mean, obviously it's very, very common for guys to have it and just come back too, but we'll see. And you know how obsessed I am with the Raquel Armstead story too. So we'll find out how that works out.
Yeah, that's a good point from CJ Cards fan. I'm putting my faith in an organization that consistently takes the wrong guy, so I guess they could blow it, but I don't think they will. So I will have some faith. That's all I can bank on anymore. Hopefully they're not taking the Jeff Lageman of defensive ends instead of a quarterback.
Jeff Lageman have a kid available or something?
No, I'm just thinking of one of the guys when he got picked. I was like, what?
You're a big supporter of the Anthony Becht pick.
Well, that was late. I was never a fan of. I was scarred by that point because the Jets had drafts where they took Kyle Brady ahead of Warren Sapp, and then there was the year they took Johnny Mitchell. Like they loved, I think because Mickey Schuler was really good in the 80s. They were like, yeah, tight end is great value. Like, no, stop taking tight ends at fucking 10 and 16 and stupid. Now they've had a lot of bad. I don't need to be reminded with as I said on the air today, the ESPN role of all the terrible Jets picks. I get.
Anthony Becht, 27th pick of the first round.
By the way, did anyone else see? There was a promo tonight for Berman and what was their post game show always called with Tom Jackson? Because now they brought it back.
Prime time.
They brought it back on ESPN Plus because I think they're like, the 55-year-olds who loved him, they're dying for him. I swear I saw a promo tonight and he was trying to do the nicknames thing again. I'm like,
oh God.
He did one with Adam Thielen. I don't even remember what it was, but I was like, oh, like that had a shelf life until like 95.
Wasn't it like Adam Thielen hot?
I don't think it was, but it was equally as bad. Did anyone see it? It was we could probably find the promo. It was, oh, that's what it was. And then the best part is he starts singing.
It was, I've got a feeling.
I got a feeling. Okay. All right. Irvin, stop. I can't believe this is still happening.
I'm so happy I turned it off at halftime.
Think about, you just had like hundreds of behind the scenes people get blown out by ESPN.
Yeah.
Think about how they feel as they watch a promo. Chris Berman, and again, this is not the way it works. Like if Berman wasn't there, it's not like they would take, whatever salary he's getting and then go, oh, we can save like 4 guys. But like when you get fired, you naturally think like, dude, you're rich. Can you just stop working here? And maybe 3 of us could have stayed around. What is
if this was real, it is worse.
ABCD Lamb.
So bad.
But we know people who like him.
You're with me, Leather.
Oh my God. So do we have to should we address the elephant in the room?
What's that?
I don't know. Do we want to do it?
Oh, Josh Allen?
No.
It's hilarious to me.
Actually, yeah, and you know what? Here at CJ Cards fan, they have like drops in the promo where it's like whoop, 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 whoop. Like,
oh my God.
Who likes that? I don't know. Lindy Lard, like a lot of people must like. He must be getting numbers on ESPN Plus. Oh God. The elephant in the room is Ari made a comment today.
Oh Jesus!
And you and I were both like, we were so, I don't know. I don't even know what to say. We were
I
kind
was
of
blown away.
shocked. You were disappointed. You went into like a full defense mode.
Yeah, I was blown away. I'm still kind of blown away by it, actually.
Do we address it or not, or just like
Well, do we need to send him an invite?
no, I don't think. I mean, if
Wait, hold on. Actually,
what?
I mean, it's
Well, it actually had something to do with you, Brady.
it's about you.
It was an accusation, but I don't want to say it was a vicious accusation because I think I don't know.
No. Here's what happened. I'll say this.
What do we do? I'm
Ari made an accusation. Ari made an accusation.
I'm leaving. I can't do this.
Ari made an accusation about Brady.
Yeah.
That was so inflammatory.
Yes.
It was. I mean, he basically called you the worst thing you could possibly call somebody, and I defended you, Brady. I went to the mats. I was like, no, I will not stand for this slander. I am not going to accept this. You are wrong, Ari. You are wrong. And then we saw some evidence.
All right, Brady, what's going on? Because we looked at your timeline for like the last week. You've been going real hard at the election fraud thing. So what's happening? By the way, I will just say, and if Ari's here, you can defend yourself. Brady is so in Ari's head.
Oh, completely.
Because why did the whole discussion about listener Brady start? Where Ari's like, he's a Trump guy. Ari was playing. I don't even know where he got this from. Were there like 8 songs that Biden played at, when he and by the way, I gotta say, Kamala Harris came out and gave a great speech, and I was like, that's enough. Just Joe. I love that Joe Biden ran out at like 104 because I can't run. But he came out and I was like, just talk for a minute. She already covered it, dude. And he just went on and on and on. I was like, stop.
Yeah.
So
I mean, my hope is that Biden gets inaugurated and then quits the next day.
He doesn't have to quit.
I totally want him to quit.
Just work behind the scenes. You tweet one of 100 tweets. Give us inspirational messages. Don't divide. We're good. Okay, we're good with this leadership group. But I guess Ari thought. I guess he found like a bunch of the songs that they played at the Biden acceptance, whatever announcement that he was president, and he's like, I'm doing this to rub Brady the wrong way. I'm like, all right. First of all, I don't know if this guy listens to every minute of your goddamn rejoins. I'm like, that's owning space.
Wait, do you have the dancing video?
I can find it.
Oh, it's my second favorite video ever. My first favorite got deleted from YouTube, which is incredibly sad.
Rick says another one, so I got to find this one. He should have come out and just started shaking the microphone like the ropes.
It's all the same video. I mean, all these are the same video of him just running down the ramp, but they're just playing different wrestling theme music to it. But the dancing video really is it's one of my favorites.
On the Biden dancing video, what is the actual root of that? Is that like incredibly looped? Like, did Biden? What was happening with the phone? And then
it was at a
Biden like bob his head once, and they're just looping it because he
did it. No, he did it. It was at a Hispanic voters outreach thing, and I want to say it was Despacito, something. I think it was like the singer of that song was there or something, and he played it on his phone, and he's like pretending to like it. It was a ridiculous. I can't remember what the exact song was or who the artist was, but it was their song. But it was definitely a Latin influenced song, and he's just listening to it, like bobbing his head along with it, which he had probably no idea what the song was. But then they just, they put a different song over it and played a lot of clips with it, which was tremendous.
I'll try to find it.
Yeah. So.
There's been some funny stuff coming out of it.
The internet has been tremendous the last week, no question. The winner, yeah, I think the winner of the election was the meme world, for sure. I need fraud to be real. So Brady's got a fantasy election pool. He needs fraud to have happened. How would that be judged? Like, there's almost always like one or two cases of some actual fraud, and I'm sure there will be this time. And usually, by the way, just as a public service announcement to people, it's usually the GOP. But there usually is one or two cases somewhere, and then somebody will use it as fraud. But I mean, the best is that Nevada suit. That how long? Like, people are still talking about it. I see Trump Twitter still talking about the suit in Nevada. And how long did it take our own Justin Watkins to get to the bottom of it? Like 30 seconds? So for those that don't know, the suit in Nevada is hanging on this ridiculous premise that over 3,000 people voted that don't actually live in the state.
Mm-hmm.
So there's 3,000 illegal votes. These people voted in Nevada and don't live in the state. We found 3,000 instances, and it's this whole official letter. I know several people now that are on it, by the way, which is great.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. And Justin's theory was exactly right. So Justin said he looked at the case, he looked at the list, and in like 30 seconds he goes, okay, every single one of these towns that somebody moved to is either a military town or a college town. So basically what they're saying in the suit is people live in Nevada and went to college and they're still voting in Nevada. Or they got deployed to a military base and they're still voting in Nevada. Yeah, that happens. So now we're going to attack veterans and active service people and college students. That's what we're going to go after.
It's weird. I mean, if we'd like, we could try the opposite, which is all of us move to Georgia this week to make sure that we're in for the runoff.
Oh, man.
I don't think you want that.
Well,
I don't
hold on. Wait a minute. I'm going in 3 weeks.
Okay.
Can I register and vote there?
You still can register, and which means you didn't have to vote in the general election, which I looked up a little earlier, which is kind of amazing. The deadline's December 7th, but you didn't have to vote in the general election. So
I'll be there before.
Can you imagine the drive to register in the state of Georgia with Georgia residents who didn't vote?
Wait, what is the rule on residency? Like, I'll pay for an apartment for 2 months.
I don't know.
I absolutely will.
I will say you shouldn't do that.
Why?
Because
I'm saying if it's legal. I'm not saying I'll break a law. If that's legal, if that counts as residency, then when I'm there in a couple weeks for the Raiders game, I will absolutely get a place and rent it.
Brady's right. I mean, the Democrats raised $100 million for Lindsey Graham's opponent to only lose by like 15 points. It's the amount of money poured into Georgia the next 2 months is going to be sick. Like, I mean, sick.
And by the way,
I know there's a lot at stake, but come on.
That is also why, just so people are aware, that is also why some Republicans are still playing along with this ridiculous Trump nonsense.
Right.
Like most of them are out of it, but what they want to do is keep the base angry and worked up, and say, hey, there's fraud, and hey, there's this, and even though they know there's not, they want to keep everybody worked up until that election.
Can you imagine
what's going on?
Can you imagine what the polling places are going to look like in Georgia for the runoff? Like people outside the polls, if they're this worked up,
it's going to be nuts.
Yep,
just nuts. And there was, I just saw a high-ranking Republican leader give a quote, and I have to find it right here because it just made me laugh because I saw it like 2 minutes ago here. They're basically treating Trump like a 5-year-old.
What do you mean?
Like, that's how. So this is what the Washington Post asked a high-ranking Republican official, who wouldn't give his name, obviously, why they're playing along. Like they know that he lost. They know that he has to leave. They know that he's not president. They know this whole thing's stupid. Why are you still playing along? And the answer is so ridiculous. It said, what's the difference? He went golfing this weekend. It's not like he's plotting how to prevent Joe Biden from taking power. He's tweeting about filing some lawsuits. They'll fail. Then he'll tweet some more about it, pout before the election, or pout about how the election was stolen, and then he'll just leave. Like that's how we're treating the president of the United States right now? Like a 7-year-old that didn't get his way at a birthday party. Like, let him pout a little bit and then he'll just leave and then we can move on with our lives. Like, this is insanity. But that's where we're at because I do feel bad on some level for Trump supporters right now who are seeing all this nonsense and like buying into it. And like the amount of people that are on Twitter and like, this election's not over. Like, yes, it is. The election is over. Will he still try to stay in office? Yes, 100% sure. And I saw a new one today because I do like to keep bringing up how I said that there's no way he's going to actually allow Joe Biden to take power. And John said, how? And I said, I don't know. There's going to be all these different paths to try to take. The taking over the legislatures and just forcing the electoral votes to Trump is, I think, a scary proposition that could happen.
Yeah.
But the one today was because a state of emergency was declared for the pandemic, he could issue an executive order that it'd be unsafe in a pandemic to change leaders.
Yep.
And like that one would be really because I feel like at that point somebody would step up and be like, all right, this is preposterous. You haven't taken this seriously one day in the last 8 months. And now all of a sudden you're going to claim it's too dangerous to change over power. But that's another path. I mean, there's all these paths. None of them are actual paths. Like none of them are actually winning more votes or winning the electoral college fairly, or there's no legal remedy for him to do this, but he's trying to find anything he can. And I think he will try.
So I was thinking about this today for 2024. I'm not real interested in locking up. It's not going to be much money. I'd probably bet, $200 on it and see where the odds go. But I was thinking about Trump in 2024.
Favorite.
I can actually punch up the fucking comment. The odds I saw for Republican in 2024 actually had Trump at 25-1.
I would make him the favorite.
I would as well. And if I could get down a couple hundred on, I know it's not a lot of money, but at 25-1 and then continue to bet it, here and there. The biggest issue with him is he just has to live.
Yeah.
Because his people are not, this was, as we said the other day, this was a massive, he didn't win. This was a massive victory. Really. From an ideological and cultural standpoint, it was a massive victory. I mean, Aaron has odds here. Will he be alive on New Year's? Yes, even no, -120. I don't know, man. He's the type of guy who I think will live to like 95 or 100 years old. And this ain't going to go away for him. And if he's upright and he can kind of keep it together, I think he runs in 2024 if he can. Now, I mean, hell, did you? I watched John Oliver, the replay from last night, which was solid.
I'm about to watch it as soon as we're done with this.
I won't ruin it for you, but he did. He had a clip of Laura Ingraham, who's like, he is and will be for the time being the face of the Republican Party. Trump,
absolutely, 100%.
Yeah. So I think if you can get him at 25-1, and he was kind of like, there's probably 15 people ahead of him, and he was like in a mishmash of other folks at 25-1. I'd put money on him.
Well, and look at it this way. I don't believe Biden has any intention of running beyond this. I think he's a 4-year guy. I think he just wanted to get Trump out, and then, I don't think he would run for re-election in 4 years. And so now you're looking at Kamala will be the favorite on the Democratic side just because of where she is as vice president. I don't necessarily know that she win the primary, but she'll be the favorite on the Democratic side. Unless you come up with another candidate like, a John Ossoff type guy, but he's not winning right now. He might win the runoff, but he's not winning the election right now. Like, unless you come up with that type of guy or, some other, a female candidate somewhere that you can find, like, unless you come up with some great candidate, Kamala would be the favorite. And the reason Biden was the candidate isn't because he was the most beloved or the favorite or anything like that. It was because he was absolutely going to win Michigan, Wisconsin, and Pennsylvania. And Pennsylvania's close, but that's why he was the candidate.
Absolutely. Well, at least those were
Well,
the projections until he won both by less than 50,000 votes.
But any other candidate would have probably got crushed in Pennsylvania. And so but that's why he was the candidate, because of those three states. And we have a friend that's an odds maker, and he's big into election betting, even though it's not here. He follows it offshore and everything. And I told him, like, Biden will win. Like, this is 3 years ago. And he said, Biden's an idiot. Nobody, like, why would anybody vote for that guy? And I was like, they'll vote for him there. And that's what it's going to take to win. But if he's out, if it's Kamala, she's not beating Trump in those states. Trump will win those states against her. So who do you have to step up that could win in those states against Trump? I don't know that you do. And There's nobody on the Republican side is beating him. That's a guarantee.
Yeah, right now.
So
right now, for 3.5 years, whatever, 3+ years is a long time. I think this is like a really juicy scenario. If he got so pissed off, if enough of them turn their back on him, and he stays quiet and he's like, fuck you, I'm running as an independent. Now, I think that would be risky because you'd be splitting votes in some ways, but imagine.
But it's the problem that the party has, and I reference this all the time, that two of my really good friends that I really, really enjoy debating politics with are very, very, very staunch Republicans, but do hate Trump. But because they're actual Republicans that are, small government and fiscal conservatism and that sort of thing, that Trump is not. He's not an actual Republican. So, but their concern, like it should be, and as we're referencing here, if he runs as an independent, their concern is, where is the base? Where, like, the intellectual conservatives are such a small percentage of the Republican Party now. And so what do they have? Like, what do they have that's non-Trump that can rally a base? They really don't. So there's the Trumpist part of the party, which is the huge, overwhelming majority of the party. And there's the true, conservatives. Like, how do you bridge that? And I don't know that they're going to be able to unless there's a real reckoning, or unless, Trump's gone, or, somehow exposed. I mean, if he is in jail, which is very possible in the next couple of weeks or after the inauguration, that could change things, I guess. But this is a real problem for the Republican Party going forward, that they're going to have to figure out how to reconcile. And if he ran as an independent, it would totally screw that party over.
I don't think Tucker, if Trump was running, I don't think Tucker would stand up against him. So he's going to make a lot of money for the next 4 years playing this bit, this over the top.
Tucker is, or Trump is?
Tucker is. No, Trump made more money the last 3 years than he made his entire career. He might be able to pay off the $100 million debt. Who knows what money? Who knows what the final count is in terms of money made by the entire family these last 3.5 years.
He lost money his entire life until now.
Were you part of the Yang Gang, or was that just your dad?
Well, my dad was.
Yeah. Why? Because
he has my dad has the photo of him and Biden, so he had one of the right horses in the race.
Didn't you like Buttigieg too?
Yeah, loves Mayor Pete. I love Mayor Pete. Mayor Pete's great.
How do you not like Yang?
He's a good basketball player.
Yang is?
Yeah.
Better than Bernie?
We saw him.
Better than Bernie? Does he use a glass?
Yeah, Bernie just has he's got a little bank shot off the glass from the block. He doesn't really have much beyond that. Yang can actually play a little bit.
Yeah, Bernie's like the 2020 Bob Cousy. No left hand on the dribble, and that kind of that jumping off the 1 foot.
Yeah. Mayor Pete has a definite problem with the far left. But Biden kind of does too. So it's possible Mayor Pete could rally. Yang Pete.
It's funny. Week after the election, already looking at 2024. Let's go.
Yeah. Well, also, I feel that and I said this before. It's one of the reasons I thought Trump should have to stay in office. That he's built.
He has to eat these 4 years.
Yeah, he's built this whole thing on a house of cards, and it's going to get worse. It's going to get ugly, and it's going to be blamed on Biden, which is completely unfair. It's going to be a Trump downfall that Biden's going to have to deal with, and hopefully he can mitigate it some. But it's a mess that he created, and it sucks that Biden's going to have to be the one that's pinned on.
I love this. Fuck it. The concessions. He's not going to. Like no. That's why we're like. I'm obviously very interested to see what happens for the next 4 years. It's for all of us, it's our lives, right? And I'm getting old, so like I'm starting to think about like what's coming up in the future here. But yeah, I mean we're gonna sit here and lament that it's if he concedes, what's the speech gonna be like? It's gonna be horrific.
I mean, I want to see it. I actually don't, because I do want to see him dragged out of the White House, which would be great. It would just be so awesome. If he's like, I'm not leaving, and they're like, okay, we'll take you out.
Yeah, it is the football gambling mentality. All right, what's the line this week? Start moving ahead. I
mean, that is really looking ahead. We're still counting votes. But and that is by the way another part of this that's really baffling to me. The whole thing, and I think I said this the first night when we were on Tuesday night of the election. One of the things I said to you is, it's amazing. Have people never watched election returns before? Like, have we never paid attention to this? And now all these people, like, since when do the networks make the call? 1846 is when the media started making the call. 1846, I think, is the first time the AP started doing it. Like, what are you talking about? Since when does the media make the call? Forever. This is what's happened.
I thought I thought the ignorance on math was kind of amazing.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think people were capable of crunching numbers. Like, they see that 75 or 80% of the votes are counted, or like, it's over. Like, no, that would be 3/4 of the vote, so a quarter is left. If there's what's that?
Oh, you're right.
Like there's still that means 25% is still left. If there's going to be, like in Pennsylvania, 6.7 million votes total, then a quarter of that, we're looking at like 1.65 million votes have not been counted. Because I saw Giuliani's like, 75 or 80% are in. Yeah. So then almost 1.7 million votes still have to be counted. And a 400,000 vote lead, if one guy wins 70%, the other guy wins 30%, then the 400,000 is wiped out. But I don't think people could, like when they saw 85, 80% numbers are like, it's done. Like, no. Do the simple math. How many votes are left to count? Could that lead be eclipsed? Like, goddamn. It ain't that hard.
And the big, like, one of the big ones I noticed was like Virginia was this big, controversy on election night, because it was like with 30% of the precincts reporting, Trump has 62% of the vote, and we've projected Biden as the winner. And people were like, "How he's up by 24? How could you do that? Well, you can't make that call." They know where the other votes are coming from. They know who they're going to vote for. And by the way, the projection doesn't mean anything in the end. They're still going to count the votes. They're just telling you, hey, listen, the other 70% of the votes are from entirely Democratic counties. So he's going to win. That's just how it is. Like, it's not like they're just throwing something at the wall and seeing like, maybe this is the thing. They know where all the votes are coming from. They know the registration of the people that actually voted. And they're making the determination that, yeah, if 93% of the votes in this county are cast by Democrats, he's probably going to win about 93% of the vote there, or even more. So, I mean, that's how they do these things. It's not like they're just making things up. And again, it's not like they started Tuesday. They've been doing this for over 140 years or some nonsense. It's crazy that people just have no understanding of what's going on. And we do it every 4 years, and people still forget.
Well, and the elections are getting closer and closer and closer. So got to wait until the end. There's going to be times one person or the other is going to win by inside of 1%, and that, in certain states the vote could finish inside of 50,000. It could finish inside of 25,000. Hell, 15,000. It could be 10,000. It happens, man.
And by the
Yeah.
way, to this comment, that's the other thing to watch here. And then this is something I didn't even think about, and I saw some other people talking about it today, so I started looking it up a little bit more. Every time Trump files a suit in terms of the election system that's going on right now, just go start looking up the lawyers, because it's actually pretty funny. The last one that he filed, I think it was in Wisconsin. It was like a divorce attorney that hasn't practiced law in like 5 years
Oh no.
was like the main lawyer.
Yeah.
And you're like, wait, what? Like, who's this? And then there was one that was like a custody lawyer was another one. And you're basically like, you're just going and finding like whoever the most pro-Trump lawyers are that have like no actual, credibility in these states, and like they're the ones filing it. It's not like the best lawyers. I think the one in Nevada, I think Justin told us last week, was like pretty legit lawyers.
Yeah.
But go, like, I think that's an important thing. When you see a suit filed, go look at who's filing it. And if they're not like one of the most prominent attorneys in that region, you could probably dismiss it as pretty stupid.
Can I talk some Raiders for a couple minutes?
Yeah, who cares about the Raiders?
Well, I wanted to bring up
That was a joke, by the way, for people.
personal Sunday viewing experience, and I keep going back to interviews that I will do outside of the market. I don't do as many as you do, but how often do you get how is Vegas reacting to the Raiders? Because when I get it, I'm always like I kind of feel like I'm required to answer like everyone's fucking fired up. They love the Raiders. We've embraced them completely. And I'm always like, I think it's going to take some time. And it like blows them away. Like, yeah. And I had another example of it 2 weeks ago. I told you I went to a certain bar, walk in, the Raiders game is on, the Steelers sound is on. And I'm like, this is now I know that happens. That used to happen in San Diego with the Chargers, right? You'd have certain bars, but they would be like team bars. But I mean, I'm finding every week I'm going into a bar. The one this weekend took the cake. The Raiders were on, but the Chiefs game sound was playing. I'm like, they're a fucking arch enemy of the Raiders. And the Raiders sound wasn't on. And I'm talking like at a bar, the hometown team, the Raiders sound should be on from the very beginning. Like, I don't care that the Chiefs, like, I guess what would be the argument? Well, it's an AFC West rival. Like, yeah, turn the sound. But here's what happens. I also understand in this town, if someone gets there early, right, Adam, and requests the Chiefs, and they're a player,
yeah,
on the machines, guess what fucking sound is staying on? That player's game.
Yeah.
Right? And if I were a bartender who knew the player, I'd be like, the Raiders game can wait. And if Raiders fans came up, I would look at you can't say it, but I look at them and be like, okay, did you put any money in the machine? Then I don't give a shit what you have to say. And that's where Vegas is just different. Now, I can't use all that language and explain that to people outside the market, but that kind of is a reality at a lot of bars. But I still laugh every time I go into a bar and I'm like, the Raiders game is on. It's our hometown NFL team. The sound's not on. This is bizarro.
And I think you can compare that to with the Golden Knights. The Golden Knights, they did. They embraced it pretty quickly to the point where when you go into a bar, the sound is going to be on.
And that's the difference because they're as you Vegas born. People really want the freaking sound. Now the example is not the Rangers game and hockey's on over the right. VGK game. Now it would be VGK. It would be VGK against, I guess what a I guess would it be a football game? Now I'm all confused on seasons now. Yeah, you could have them going head to head.
Sure.
Playoff time.
So yeah, I'm asked every single interview I do. Same thing. What's the reaction in Vegas? What is it like? I mean, I would have stayed at that bar. That sounds like a great bar. I mean, you can watch sports and then also watch Dumb and Dumber.
This is the other one. Is if it's not another football game on instead of the Raiders, it'll be something completely ridiculous because they don't know how to work the TVs. So
I also feel like without even knowing, I don't know why that keeps doing it. without even having to have the sound on, I think I could do the entire movie. So I could do the soundtrack on my own for Dumb and Dumber. But yeah, I'm asked every single time, what is the mood like of Raiders fans? Like, how is the city embracing the team? And you're right, that's kind of how we have to say it. But at the same time, John Gruden was asked today that question exactly. He said, like, even though the fans aren't there, can you feel the excitement? Like, can you feel people, getting ready and building up to a potential playoff run? And his answer was no.
No.
No. He's like, they're not there. You can't be around them, and you can't be around them in public. Like, he's like, I think part of what he was insinuating is, in the past, even if you're not at the stadium, you go out to dinner, everybody's going to be coming up to you like, yeah, playoffs are coming, and you don't get that. You don't get to go out in public anymore, even. So I think there is a sense of that.
How many remotes have I done? I think I've done 20 shows now on the road, out and about at traditional places. I don't think I've had one person come up and try to chat me up about the Raiders. Not one. And it's not a dig on the Raiders. I think it's going to take time. Ooh, this is a good question. We did not get to this on the air.
I know.
Oh, boy. SoFi Stadium against Allegiant. What'd you think?
Yes. To the question. So here's the thing. SoFi is the most impressive stadium I've ever been in my life in any sport. It is unbelievable. It's insane how awesome that place is. It's also 2.5 times the money was put into it. So it should be. So for those that don't know of the perspective of this, Allegiant Stadium is the second most expensive stadium ever built. And that's not because it's 2020. Huh? That's not because it's 2020.
I was saying Brady saying Allegiant, was looking like Sam Boyd in comparison.
Yeah.
Let's calm down.
No.
I get the
Allegiant's the second most expensive stadium built ever, and that's inflation adjusted. So it's not just because it's the newest one. Inflation adjusted, the second most of all time, and SoFi was 2.5 times more expensive, and you could tell. It's incredible. Now, and to be fair, I didn't even really fully understand this, but there is a theater attached to SoFi. So when you see that big roof, it goes over both the stadium and the theater. And the theater is going to be like, they're going to host, they would expect like the Grammys there, the Academy Awards there, things like that, and then have concerts there as well. And that's part of the complex. But it's incredible. I mean, it's so open, and the roof. I like the roof in Vegas, but you couldn't have the same roof in Vegas that you do at SoFi. It would be too hot, I think. But at SoFi, it feels outdoor. Allegiant is trying to feel outdoor. SoFi absolutely feels like it's outdoor, and it's indoor. It's crazy how much light and natural light is in there, and how transparent the roof is, and it's great. But also the concourse are incredibly wide. It's open on both ends, so it's like you're outside, even though you're in, you're under that roof thing. So many different levels of suites and different things that are available, different amenities, and yeah, Allegiant has it too. It's not Bellagio to Four Queens or Bellagio to Circus, as somebody's saying. It's like, I don't even know what Allegiant would be in comparison. It's not even fair to compare though, because like I said, it should be that much better. It was 2.5 times the money, and like one of the things we talked about with Allegiant as well is they picked the right location, but also the wrong location. Like, they picked a location intentionally to be part of the Strip. They wanted the Strip to be part of the backdrop, part of, like, you come into town, you see Allegiant, you see the Strip, you see the Strip from Allegiant. When you do the overhead shots, from Monday Night Football or the Super Bowl, you're going to see the Strip in there as part of it. But if you did it off the Strip, you could have a lot more space to do really cool things like SoFi did. SoFi just had more space, and now they're going to build all these restaurants and bars around it. It's going to be like another LA Live. You've got the theater there too. You couldn't have done it in that amount of space that they have. So, I mean, I was absolutely blown away, to be honest with you. And I thought US Bank in Minnesota was better than Allegiant. I think Allegiant's really cool, but I think the one in Minnesota was better. But SoFi blows that one away too. It's just incredible.
All right, let's calm down. It's It's a really nice stadium. Is Las
Yeah,
Vegas at risk of having an Oakland
No.
Coliseum on our hands?
It's Ruprecht versus Leslie Jones. Sure.
Who's Ruprecht?
Ruprecht, the old supermarket sweep host.
No, I'm saying, who is he? SoFi or Legion?
Oh, Ruprecht is SoFi.
Yep. Yeah, if people didn't hear Adam's breakdown of Supermarket Sweep, he not down with Leslie Jones in terms of her hosting. You like her, but you said the show sucks now.
Yeah, because it's the Leslie Jones show. Like, it's not about the supermarket products or the sweep anymore. It's about Leslie Jones. I want it to be about that weird, that weird cereal that has money attached to it.
I like the Can Room. I'm not always the biggest fan of the biggest, most ornate strip clubs. So I like grungy.
It's Rhino compared to what's the one? God, I don't even remember the name of the one. It's the one right on 15. God, it's behind what used to be Cheetahs and is now called the Library.
What, you're talking about Treasures up the road?
Yeah, Treasures. It's a Rhino compared to Treasures.
Rhino to Treasures, both are very solid.
Well, one's much better.
Okay. Sapphire to Chicas Bonitas.
Yeah, Chicas Bonitas is the better one, of course.
That's another underrated place. While I like your place, Palomino, there's many times when I will just walk out of Palomino and be like, go over to Chicas Bonitas.
You're a Jersey guy. You're looking for more gritty.
A little bit. Yeah. A lot of diversity. Palomino to Satin Saddle. Little darling. But how did this turn into massive strip club talk? I can tell from the chat room, everyone is really missing strip clubs. Shut down for limited. True colors are showing. Now, wait a second. Now, this is a classic. This is a classic.
What is that?
It's Frank's Chicken House in Manville, New Jersey.
Okay.
I saw Busty Hart put on a show there one time. She had like 80 triple Z's, but while I do like big cans, it got a bit disturbing. You know what the main part of her act was?
No.
Her tits were so big that she's like, look at what I can put under my tits and hold them.
Okay.
You're like,
that's such a 1950s thing.
Right? Like the bowling ball, like I'm not rodding up. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm out.
Oh, look at this. Here's a 2-liter bottle of Pepsi under my tit. Yay.
So stupid.
She was the Gallagher.
No, did she put a watermelon on the table and then drop them on it?
Well, she would put the watermelon under the right tata and then lift it and let it roll down her body and smash.
So stupid.
You know what? You guys are good tonight. She would have been banned from being on Supermarket Sweep.
Well, she could have stored a lot of things.
She used the cart, and then she was like, "All right,
like
there we go.
Bonus item under my boob." That was not a. It was not a milk squirting show. Your last trip to Frank's was 97. I'm guessing mine was before that. I had a delivery job to Manville. I used to have to deliver the proofs of the Rutgers student newspaper, to the printer in the same town. How far was it?
I was always in maybe 20 minutes. There was always a good chance each night that I wasn't going to make it to the printer and stop off at Frank's.
So I had to do that. Well, we switched over to digitally delivering, I think after sophomore year. Well, the first 2 years I used to do that, and the printer I dropped it off at for the Rebel Yell at the time, Scarlet and Gray Free Press now, was over like Valley View. There's like that old bar, like just off Valley View in like Sirius.
Okay.
Was that it? It was like I can't remember the name of that bar. Right across from it, there was a print shop. I'd have to drop the proofs off there. Not Boomers.
Something like that.
Yeah. It was right across from there.
Ping pong ball shooters and TJ. I think you mean ping pong ball shooters and NJ. Actually, I was at a bachelor party and there were some strippers popping the ping pong balls. Impressive.
Taffer redo a bar over there at that spot? I mean, he did one. I know he did Sand Dollar, and I know he did that. That's at um, that's Spring Mountain and 15 basically. But I think he did that place on Russell west of Allegiant.
Oh Jesus! Sorry,
And
I
he
zoned
did-
out. I zoned out for a second. I was trying to figure out what the hell was going on there. What bars did Taffer do? He did whatever the hammer was.
That's the
Uh,
one on Russell west of
Yeah,
Allegiant.
that's the one on Russell. He did the gay bar down by Paradise, right across from Naked City. It hasn't opened. The guy he went in there, right across from Naked City, an office bar. Right.
Really?
It's been boarded up since. You don't remember that?
No.
We used to go there all the. No, we didn't go there. But no, he went and he redid a gay bar right there by Paradise and whatever the freaking street is in front of Naked City, and the guy hated it so much he closed it down in like 4 months, and it's never opened since. And then he was trying to build like a pool out front, and it's been boarded up ever since. Is it Piranha or is it Gypsy? I think it's Gypsy. Like I don't remember the name because it has been dormant and boarded up for so friggin' long.
But he did that one on East Sahara too, across from the old Lotus of Siam. Not in Commercial Center. The one it's across Sahara from there.
Really?
Yeah, and I can't remember what it was. It was, I mean, the clientele was just a disaster.
Right. He's like, we're gonna do craft beers
Yeah,
and a lot of paninis. Like,
it's
no.
somebody has to know.
Come on, the craft beers will sell over here on East Sahara for $8-9. Like, no, we serve fucking $4 pitchers of hams, you moron.
It's not
I like Taffer, but I mean some of the neighborhoods and concepts.
Did he do Firefly?
Oh my god! Imagine if he had gone into Firefly, especially the one that got caught, and had all the outbreak. What was it, salmonella outbreak?
Oh, dude, you know what else he did?
He didn't. He didn't do the Champagne Cafe, did he?
I don't know about that.
Last time I was there a couple of years ago, they still I mean, it's part of the charm of the place. I thought the seats were all torn up.
You know what he did, and God, I actually felt bad for the owners and management, but it was a pretty good episode. Was what is the strip club in front of God, on Flamingo, the Tuscany. There's that little strip club right in front of Tuscany.
Is it Pure Platinum now?
Something like that. But he did. He
that's right.
Did that place?
I never saw that one.
Oh, dude,
really hot older like server / bartender / dancer. I love
not
her.
not hot, Steve.
Very hot.
I know that we there was a house party like a year ago.
Club Platinum.
And yeah, we put it on. We put the episode on, and then everyone ended up there, like 30 people, and they just weren't ready for it. And it was the same people from the show that were on. They were not happy that we were just in there talking about the show.
I love it. Yeah. So what's a zombie themed? I think I missed the second go around of Taffer here in town, and I know he has a house here in town too. So I think he's here most of the time now. Yeah. Someone said he did a horror themed place.
Yeah, this is true. You never know what you're going to get on the show.
Yeah,
it's true.
Random.
Did somebody have the place on East Sahara?
What, the name of it?
Yeah, I wish. God dang. Oh, Brady said to check Twitter. So, oh, Brady sent a list of all the Bar Rescue episodes and where he's been. That's good. That's helpful. So yeah, Sand Dollar for one. Gypsy.
Yep.
The Hammer was the one over us that we talked about.
He didn't do Play It Against Sam's, did he?
I don't think so.
Or was that? We've got multiple questions going on here because someone randomly threw in, "What's the cheapest pitcher in town currently?" I'd have to think it's got to be on the east side because all the west side places, we've lost it, man. We've lost it on the west side. It sucks.
He did do Champagne's Cafe. That was season 5.
Wow, I can't believe he did that.
City Bar, I think, might have been the place. Jack's Place. Club Platinum was in season 6. Barley Pops. I don't even know where that is. Yeah, he's done a lot in Vegas, actually.
Wow. By the way, where's the 7-Eleven? Where's 2409 Tam Drive? There's a shooting there? Critically injured. Jesus Christ. 7-Eleven near Sahara and Industrial.
Oh, dude. That's a scary place.
Why am I
It's
not
like-
picking it up?
So because it's under. So it's not if I'm right about this, Sahara kind of goes up
Yeah.
after you go east of Strip when it's gonna go over to the freeway, it kind of goes up around where Lucky Dragon is. And like there's like a neighborhood underneath there. So it would be, I guess, east, as we're doing strip club landmarks, I guess now east of Crazy Horse 2. There's like a little neighborhood there, and there's a 7-Eleven in that neighborhood. And there's always shenanigans going on there.
Yeah, we got some crazy 7-Elevens around town.
Well,
Crazy.
it's not quite the one at Bonanza Las Vegas Boulevard, which essentially
Oh boy.
is. I mean, I've seen more. There's more items on the floor than there is on the shelves.
I used to stop when we were doing shows at Cashman. I used to stop in there all the time to get like a big gulp before I went into the stadium, and then after a while, I was like, I don't love this one. I'm gonna stop earlier. I'm gonna stop at the better 7-Eleven. Wait, what was it? Bonanza and what?
Bonanza Las Vegas Boulevard.
Yeah, Bonanza and Las Vegas Boulevard. I'm gonna stop at the better 7-Eleven. That's at that's on the other side of the 95.
And to Rick's point, yeah, I guess that is the west. That's like this far southwest corner of what would be considered Naked City. And to Brady's point, bro, don't just come in here and quote Sebastian Maniscalco. That's what you're doing. We know. We know the routine. Sorry, I meant this one. Brady said it sounds like a TJ Maxx. Like that's the Sebastian Maniscalco line where he said when people go to TJ Maxx, they just like, I don't like these socks, and just throw them. Like, yeah.
Okay, I'm going to ask again. Are you going to carve out time? I think your answer is going to be whatever my next big road trip is. Are you going to carve out time to watch this Comedy Store thing?
Yeah, I've got to, but I've got to get it done because I do have a really long road trip coming up, like 10 days. So I'm going to need a lot of stuff to watch. But the caveat to that is when Saved by the Bell comes out. So that's pretty much going to consume my entire trip. So yes, I will watch it. It will happen. I don't want to guarantee this week, but it might be. It's 5 hours that I have to carve out.
Yeah.
Maybe I can get it done tomorrow.
I never thought about this. I don't feel like there are a lot of 7-Elevens in Summerlin. Am I wrong? I feel like there's a switch once you get past a certain street. Like I feel like after Fort Apache, that's it. Am I wrong? Are there a lot of 7-Elevens?
There's got to be.
Going west past Fort Apache, it just ends. Right? It's mostly Terribles, a lot of Green Valley Grocery. Miller J. Vegas. Very few.
We need Wawa so bad. Where was this? I saw the road trip from hell. It was going to be. Can I say, and people can harass our good friend Ed Graney about this if you want to. So, what?
Just real quick on the convenience store thing.
Oh yeah.
I'm not in support of them because they're mostly from. I think they're based in Utah, but I don't know how many Mavericks there are here, but they're pretty good. I mean, they're not Wawa. They're not. What's that one in Kansas City for your Kansas City people that
the Come and Go?
No, not Come and Go's. Come and Go's
more. Quick Stop or Quick Trip or something like that.
It's Quick Trip. Quick Trip.
Yeah.
That place is a fucking palace, man. God, there's so many. There's so many. That right now with COVID, it probably changed, but their lineup of those rolling machines, you know what I mean, with whatever taquitos and freaking hot dogs, and it's beautiful. Then you got like a deli in the back, but it's not Wawa.
Can I say that I've been to Wawa?
Man,
I've been to Wawa during the pandemic, by the way, and it was just as good as always.
Was it?
Yeah. Because you can order your food, you just type it into the machine. You don't have to deal with anybody. You don't have to be around anybody.
The sandwiches are to die for.
They're great.
Now I cut you off, and you probably just lost your vibe there. What was going on?
No, no, I was going to say somebody said the road trip from hell. Yeah, it's a so. If you look at the schedule coming up for the Raiders and for UNLV, the Raiders play at Atlanta against the Falcons on the 29th. UNLV plays in the Maui Invitational, which is in Asheville, North Carolina. Yes, I know that's weird, but Maui Invitational is in Asheville, North Carolina this year. The next day, so Raiders play Sunday. Rebels play Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday in Asheville, and then the Raiders play at the Jets on Sunday. So it's basically a full week on the East Coast, and I, being the adventurous person, I want to take the train from Asheville to New York.
Where the fuck are you in Asheville?
The train, you can take the Amtrak from Asheville to Newark.
That's on that. Really, there's an Amtrak line that goes through freaking Asheville.
Well, I think you have to drive over to it, but we have to drive anyway. Yeah, but the esteemed Mr. Graney shot it down. So we're driving back to Atlanta and then flying from Atlanta to New York. That doesn't make any sense.
Why don't you just why don't you just drive over to Charlotte? It's a big hub.
Well, it's easier to take the car back to where we rented it, I guess, is the and it's the same distance.
New era at the RJ where everyone cares about the budget.
Yeah, same distance from Charlotte or from Asheville to Charlotte as it is from Asheville to Atlanta, I believe. So really not much of a change there. But I think the train would be awesome. I really want to take it.
Wants to roll the dice with COVID.
No, I would definitely upgrade to the first class. I don't want to be around people.
Will you do the Hawaiian shirts in Asheville just to kind of have some vibe?
Should I get a couple?
They're pretty good, man. They're pretty comfortable. Like I said, I'm quickly turning into the sports pig, and that was his wardrobe of choice. I forgot that. Did you see? You know Dave Quello, right, from Fox Sports?
Sure.
He used to work at Sports Fan. Dave was looking through some of his archives that the SI that Pig and I were in. Like, will pro sports come to Vegas? I think it was like 2009. And Pig had on his Harbaugh khakis that he wore. I'm pretty sure they were 48 24s, 48 waist, 24 length, and he had the Hawaiian shirt on, say the black Hawaiian like flowered shirt on. And for some reason, the SI cameraman, because I remember doing we took a lot of shots, and the SI cameraman, I'll have to get the picture. Pig's shot is leaning against a stripper pole, and he's like this. Like, why is that the picture? It didn't look like he's yelling. And then I forgot. Well, you know what? I'll have to get the picture for maybe later in the week, because tomorrow Allie and Alex are in, so they'll have no idea what Sports Big is, what any of this means. But I forgot that Clay Baker pointed out that SI photo that we took there were two strippers in it, and Pig actually took one of the strippers to the Lotus holiday party later that year.
Good for him.
That's a good score. It's a good score. Brady playing into the 48-24 joke. Was he 3'6"? He was short, but he may have been tall. I couldn't really get close to him. I always thought he was shorter than me, and he always pushed back on it. But I was never willing to go back to back with him, just because he had that kind of the musk. He had that musk.
By the way, the train was somebody said too expensive. It was like $80, and then the upgraded first class is like $148 or something.
Is there Wi-Fi?
Yes,
I would do it if you got the time. I would do it. It'd be cool.
No, it's like 13 hours, which seems like a lot.
A lot of time on the Wi-Fi. Remind me the dates. Is that Thanksgiving weekend?
The Falcons game is Thanksgiving weekend.
So UNLV plays on that Friday against Wyoming. I was not happy to hear that it's an early start, because is Black Friday even going to happen?
UNLV football, by the way, you're saying.
What did I say? Basketball?
No, but you're saying we're talking about basketball, and UNLV football is playing Friday.
UNLV football, Wyoming at Allegiant is 1:00. When does basketball start in Maui, Asheville?
I believe Monday.
Oh, Monday. So it's the 30th, the 1st, the 2nd?
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be a good trip. God damn it. I'd like to go on that, but I can't.
It's a great field.
I know it's a great field.
Rebels played North Carolina day one, for those that don't know, and then depending if they win or lose, Stanford or Alabama on the second day. The other side of the bracket is Texas, Davidson, Indiana, and Providence.
Yeah, it's the SO's birthday weekend, so I'm kind of cooked.
Hmm.
I already got her a gift though. I already got her a
Are you
gift.
gonna say what it is?
Yeah, she's gonna love the new fucking slicer I got. It was like two.
It's for you.
I'll get her one thing and then the slicer, and then I'll slice some vegetables and be like, "Look, this is great," because she's not gonna eat all the cured meats.
You're gonna slice vegetables in that thing?
Well, I would say you could slice anything, but I broke the last one, so. But yeah, you can pretty much slice anything. Yep. Every year, a new piece of lingerie. Yep, every year.
Are you giving away the old slicer?
It doesn't work, so I mean, I think it needs a $5 part, so.
Yeah, Brian
I
new to the program.
I wish. What? I can't do what? The slicer? No,
he said, wait, like a meat slicer? Like, yeah, Steve has a giant meat slicer, and now he's getting a larger and fancier one.
There's a screw that puts on the blade, and I snapped it. It was like a cheap piece of crap, and I've just not been able to find the new one. And if the follow-up question is like, what are you slicing? I looked through the freezer yesterday, and I actually shed a couple of tears. I have so much meat frozen that needs to be sliced. It's been a depressing couple of months. Aaron, have you seen what's going on in radio? Yes, practicing for a second career at Jersey Mike's. Yes, but I will tell you, if you come to my Jersey Mike's, the subs are all wet. Okay, they're all going to be wet. It's going to have a load of oil and vinegar on it. Even if you say dry, there's still going to be oil and vinegar on it. You're going to eat it the way I like it. That's just the way it is.
Wait, why are you making people eat it the way you want it?
Because that's the way it is. What is Steve? Yeah, lots of oil and vinegar. Right, so turned into my father-in-law.
Not turned in. This is what he's always been.
No, this is slicing meat. Yeah. There you go. The pepper relish. You know what's funny is I grew up around Jersey Mike's. I've been to the original in Point Pleasant, New Jersey. I never go here.
Wet ass.
Yeah, west.
Great.
So wet. Just have a wet ass pussy in the background playing. Edited version, of course, of the kids.
No, make your own and just wrap wet ass sandwich
or wet ass
bread. Yeah.
Wet
wet ass pickles.
Is their bread bad? I don't even know.
Yeah, I mean it's not the best thing. Obviously, the sandwiches. I think the sandwiches are great there. I think they do a great job, but it's not the best bread.
All right, let's just. This is a good jumping off point for tomorrow. With the WAP stuff, we'll repeat this with Allie and Alex. I don't know how because I mentioned the stupid slicer. I don't know. I always mention it. It's just it's so intriguing to people. I love my slicer though. I don't think the disappointing part about the holidays is I don't think the SO is going to pick up on my desperation for the slicer. Although I wouldn't ask her to buy me a $250 slicer. That's kind of ridiculous. I don't agree that this is the C team. Maybe on the surface, I think they've got immense potential. So we're trying to find combinations. McKinnell went off of the deep end, so he's going to be back in months from now. Maybe from Indiana. I don't even know if he's going to be. I don't know what's going on with him. So
I think Alex got me in some trouble last week, but it's okay.
Noah did win his election. The crazy restaurant guy. Yeah, he won. Come on, it's Orange County, man. Tito Ortiz won a goddamn seat. Huntington Beach. I know. No Maction breakdowns tonight. It's actually not a real busy Wednesday. Although, you know what? No, they're back on. I think they're back on Thursday with 3 games. Am I right? God, I'm such a big Bobcat fan. I so want to see Armani Rogers do. Yeah, but he's not going to play. Yeah. He's like the change-up quarterback. The freaking Rourke kid is already better. Son of a bitch. Free Armani, man. Give him a chance to run wild.
3 games tomorrow, 3 Wednesday, according to our comment. So that's good.
Wait, in the MAC?
Yeah.
Oh, that's what I did. You son of a bitch. That's right.
I've got so much money in my account right now because I middled that game tonight, which made me very excited.
Oh, Armani plays tomorrow. They're 27.5 point favorites. So he's going to play if they do what they're supposed to do.
Yeah. Get a big enough lead.
3 tomorrow, 3 Wednesday. Fascinating.
Maction.
I'll have to check this out. LA Times had a great article on the OC results and Tito.
And by the way, my BFF. When I put that tweet out last week, I did not intend for anybody to point out who I actually was talking about.
Well, what the tweet say?
So I just sent out a tweet. I said something about if we want to know how 2020 is going, one of the dumbest people I've ever interacted with in my life was elected to city council tonight. And I wasn't going to say who I was talking. I never did say. I still haven't said who I was talking about. But then Alex retweeted it and just said #Huntington Beach. I'm like, bro, what are you doing? So I had to answer some calls from people in the Tito circle. I never said who I was talking about, though. I still haven't.
Yeah.
But yes, I was talking about Tito Ortiz.
I don't think I can read the LA Times article. I dropped my subscription. Once Arash was gone, I'm out. So I hate to do that. Hate to do that to you guys in the print side, man, but not happy about whoever pulled the coup, Plashke or whoever else.
Yeah.
Nonsense.
Talked to Arash yesterday at SoFi.
Have you noticed he's been on? Well, first of all, how is he?
He seemed all right. There's people around, so we didn't really get into too much detail. He's coming up in a couple of weeks, so probably hear a little more. Actually, the UFC tried to use that against me today.
What's
They're
that?
like, they were like, do you plan on covering UFC 255 next week? And I was like, I'm trying to work on some things. Hopefully, I can make it happen. Like, I want to be out there. And they're like, well, Arash is coming, so I was like, okay, you're trying to say like that he's going to cover it better than we are. Like, okay, that's a challenge. Okay, we'll get on it. They knew the Mr. Las Vegas thing was really going to get to me.
I was going to say, truth be told, will we get on it? Because it's not really your decision, is it?
If I want to cover it, I can.
I don't think Sisolak banned Arash from coming to town for ratting out the cause.
No, he's allowed to be here. He did refer to the new stadium in Texas as a cookie cutter, though.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow. I feel like he's more edgy now. Like he's not looking to make as many friends now that he's in Sport Talk Radio. He's arrived. His inner prickness is going to come out more.
I think that's yeah. I would say yes, 100%.
Did you? This is actually great advice. Why didn't you tell the UFC this? That you're an NFL reporter and UFC is way below your class.
Well, that's
and if they got mad, you'd be like, "That's what your boss said."
That's true. It actually is what was said in the original conversation.
Oh no!
So we're clear.
Late to the conversation, I think. Left Coast Mike. We talked about this a lot earlier.
Yeah, there's no comparison.
We had a lot of it turned into a strip club analogy. So SoFi to the Al is like what strip clubs in town. So we got a lot of Sapphire to the Can room. So we finally settled on Rhino to Treasures, which I think is complimentary of both stadiums.
Yeah, well, one's clearly better.
All right. All right, that was a good one.
And I just looked up knock knock knock. I'll put this on the list, Pat. I like to
by
cover.
the way, did you see Pat's sneaky reference earlier?
Which one?
Sorry, Left Coast Mike. Let's do this quickly. If I can find it. I don't even know if Pat's still on.
Yes.
And Pat is your friend, right?
Yeah.
Well,
I think so. I
would
consider him a friend. I don't know what he thinks about me based on Twitter comments from him and Chris the last couple of days.
All right. Are you getting blasted again tonight?
Yeah. Listen,
I think this is a very inside joke. and I don't have access to it because I kind of lose some of the comments along the way. Somehow TJ came up. Oh, there he is. And Pat said that we need to bring Paul on to talk about TJ. So that's an inside joke, right? He knows of Paulie and TJ, or does he not know? Would he not know that? He would know that.
No, he would know.
All right.
Of a certain media celebrity dancing with a girl that looked like Lawrence Taylor.